Coming up tonight, put on the spot by frequent flyer remarks pertaining to the New Day government. DPM Chester Cooper, not trying to catch that smoke, defends the tourism ministry's travel schedule. And in the spirit of giving, Bahama Foundation donates food to Mount Olive Baptist Church feeding program. And the kickoff to the country's Yuletide season starts today. Yes, Jollification returns after a 2-year break. Were you there? This is Our News Weekend Edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Megan Shepard. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Chester Cooper defending travel within his ministry. This as the Davis administration faces continued criticism by the opposition for frequent traveling. Cooper says his ministry has had several successful missions abroad.
These missions have been to carry the word that we are open for business. We have 16 magnificent island destinations. We have been locked down in COVID. We've had an impact in Dorian, and we're back. We're coming back very strong. We want to regain our market share. The tourists we need are the tourists who are abroad, and to get them in the relationship business, in a people business, you have to go where they are.
The tourism minister says they will conduct more missions as it is the nature of the business.
We have plans of going to Texas, to Houston, Dallas, and Austin. We've just come back from the World Travel Market in London. We will go to the Middle East again because that's fertile ground for very high net worth clients. So as it relates to the investment space, as it relates to the tourism market, we have to tell our own story, and if we're attracting foreign direct investors, if we're attracting foreign tourists to the Bahamas, it follows that we have to go abroad to reach them.
Prime Minister Philip Davis was on the defense about government travel while presenting his administration's 3-month fiscal report to Parliament this week. He said that the travel is necessary for the betterment of the Bahamian people. A big week for the island of Grand Bahama as a new flight route was added. Every Thursday and Sunday, Bahamas Air will now have non-stop flights to Raleigh, North Carolina. The inaugural flight taking place on Thursday. A number of government officials and Bahamas Air executives making the first trip. When the flight arrived in Freeport on Thursday evening, the plane was welcomed to a water salute. A short ceremony was also held outside the Grand Bahama International Airport. Hadley Forbes, owner of H. Forbes Charter, applauding Bahamas Air for the new route.
Motivated, and when you be a part of something that you nurture from the start and see it come to fruition, you are overjoyed to see Bahamas Air coming from Raleigh, North Carolina to Freeport directly in 1 hour and 35 minutes. That is exactly what we need.
The Bahamas Public Services Union still not happy with the conditions at social services after the minister responsible held a meeting with employees to bring a resolution to their concerns. A few weeks back, employees spoke out decrying a number of issues, but it seems the concerns remain.
No, the results of the meeting was unacceptable to me as I was advised, and we're asking the government to ensure that attention is being given or attention be given to the concerns of social workers.
Union President Kimsley Ferguson says it seems workers are being marginalized. He says 1 year since the New Day government took office, the issues remain the same. He's calling for the Prime Minister to intervene in the matter.
We're asking the Prime Minister to meet with us on the social workers so that we can get it rectified. We are recognizing in a number of areas in the public service where the government is doing things unilaterally, in relation to the terms and conditions of public servants.
Well, after a 2-year hiatus, the staple Bahamian Christmas-themed Arts and Crafts Festival is back. Jollification serves as a fundraiser for the Bahamas National Trust, but it also allows for hundreds of Bahamians to show off their crafts, food, drinks, and more.
Mama, bake your Johnny cake, Christmas coming. Mama, bake your Johnny cake.
Pepper jellies, sweet jellies, hot sauces, barbecue sauces, jerk sauces, just pepper spreads, dips. I have fruit cakes. Tina does the lamps, and they're made from gourds, which is the Bahamian calabash. So we're using those products, as well as she does lights from coconuts.
And we have totally handcrafted silk products, starting from silk pillowcases, bonnets, sleep masks, and also scrunchies. So anything for, keeping your hair at its natural state, keeping it protective when you do protective stylings. Girls, we go from our weave to our extensions to our braids.
So we're having a henna boot. So henna stains the skin typically for a week. And there's two types of henna choices. You have the Jaguar gel, what I'm applying now, it leaves a blue-black stain. And then you also have the traditional henna, which is a plant, which leaves a brown stain.
This is our first time at Jolly, and all our products are all locally made. Fortunately for me, I had a nice test canvas to ensure that all my products work the way it's intended to work. We have oils, balm, leave-in conditioners, so from cleansing to hydrating, we have it all here.
We offer everything that is cozy, but at Jollification, we only display our handmade products, and those are candles, room spray, bath salts.
I have stuffed animals made out of mainly Androsia and some Bahama handprint. So Bahamian all the way.
And if any of that piques your interest, there's more. From delectable food to cool drinks, Bahamian-made jewelry, books, flip-flops, and the list goes on. There was also a special Kiddies Corner where a number of Cable Bahamas employees volunteered at booths. Attendees say they are excited to see the return of Jollification and even get a head start on their Christmas shopping.
This is my second time here. Because of COVID, obviously, a lot of things were shut down, so I'm really glad to see that everyone's coming back, having a good time. They have a lot of cute little booths, the food is amazing, the drinks are good, and they have a lot of little special things, like they have earrings and a lot of Christmas presents that you can buy. It's nice, they have a lot of tents, that way the sun isn't hitting you too much because it's really hot, but they're doing a really good job and everyone's really friendly, the staff is amazing.
And of course, a lot of people were worried about with the roadworks, but we managed to get through that. It's just so much fun. This kind of lets us know that things are getting back to normal. It's really nice to see a lot of vendors, a lot of new things, so people really got into some new stuff over, during lockdowns, and have had time to really hone their crafts, so it's been fun.
Now the event will also continue on Sunday. Vendors say they appreciate the local support.
It helps us to get products out there and be able to, let people see what the Bahamian people can do as opposed to buying foreign products, etc. This is about probably my 10th year now doing Jollification. So it's a lot of exposure. You get to meet and speak to a lot of clients.
Definitely a fun event. And still to come on the weekend edition, the new Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium is official, but first it must meet international standards to be used. And talks of Mama DeLo is straight ahead when our news weekend edition returns. Minister Philip Davis says it's a part of the vision to promote the overall health and well-being of Bahamians. His comments came as he led off debate on the mental health bill in the House of Assembly. The bill, which will repeal and replace the 1969 Act, first tabled in July, puts in place a framework to expand the resources to those most in need and makes it unlawful to discriminate against a person because of their mental health status.
The bill we are debating today provides a modern, best practice aligned framework, one which will usher us into a new era for mental health in the Bahamas.
Back in July, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville said the bill incorporates important matters pertaining to the management of personal and financial affairs, as well as the establishment of a mental health services board and a mental health review tribunal. The bill mandates that mental health services be affordable and accessible to people throughout the country, provided in a way that is acceptable to the person seeking those services and improves that person's capacity to develop and integrate into community life. Opposition leader Michael Pintard described the bill as an important step forward.
This is the modernization of the Mental Health Act. The reality is much of the good practices put in place by mental health professionals, those acts are not yet codified in law, and today this exercise seeks to codify many of those best practices. Madam Speaker, what is also true is that by us debating this bill today, we are drawing awareness to those citizens in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas who have been disadvantaged by our insensitivity or sometimes by our indifference as a population.
Before the new Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium is officially opened, it must meet international standards in order for professional players to utilize it. That, according to Secretary General of the Bahamas Baseball Association, Theodore Sweeting, who says the stadium will be open in time for the Caribbean Baseball Cup scheduled for next month. He says officials from the Major League Baseball Association are coming in to inspect in the next few days.
Major League is coming in after the full completion, do their inspection. What they like to do is to make sure that the surface and everything that their professional players are playing on meets their standards. Our field is all turf, so we know we're going to meet the standards when they do their final inspection of the stadium. So we're not concerned about that, but right at this time, that's what we're fighting back and forth with them.
The Caribbean Baseball Cup is scheduled for December 4th through the 11th. And when the weekend edition comes back from the break, Bahama Foundation living up to its good corporate citizen status, giving to a local feeding program. And a Bahamian in Canada acting up a storm. You might have seen him on a commercial or two. We have the details when our news weekend edition returns. Welcome back. A local feeding ministry receiving a sizable donation of non-perishable food items and utensils just ahead of Thanksgiving Day, all thanks to the Bahama Resort Foundation. Foundation manager Melvin Williamson says they always try to collaborate with organizations that align with the Bahama Resort Foundation.
The foundation, by the way, is built on 3 pillars of community, conservation, and culture. And this is the community side of it. The items that we're donating today consist of, we have thousands of pieces of plates and bowls, that they can use on their feeding drive. And also, items like, canned items like tuna, corned beef, rice, macaroni, and to name a few. We actually go out on a, I guess, monthly basis and donate to various organizations. This is just one of them that we said that we would donate to today, but there are others that we have lined up for the future.
Receiving the donation, leader of the Mount Olive Baptist Church, Reverend C.B. Moss, says they're thankful for the kind gesture, which will go a long way in the assisting with the feeding of residents in that community and the surrounding areas.
We are so grateful when benefactors like the Bahama Resort Foundation decide to make a donation like this, because what it does, it extends our ability to reach others. And although we started out within this community, Bay and Grandstown, but we have people coming from all over, which makes us very happy to be able to supply needs even outside of our community.
Bahamians continuing to show that they can conquer any industry anywhere in the world. In this Generation Next segment, 33-year-old Bahamian Brian Gibson is making his mark in the Toronto acting industry, commercials or movies.
In Toronto, you get a lot of casting calls just even on Facebook. So I responded to a few of those, and I was one of the fortunate ones with my very first audition. I booked that job, and it's kind of been, continuing and progressing since then.
Gibson says he has had no formal training, but acting has been his passion since childhood.
I've probably done about 50 plus commercials over the last 8 years or so. But I've done a bit of musical theater, but I'm not a confident singer, so I don't really focus on that. And then recently, I've been more on like TV shows. Well, the very first commercial was a Cheetos commercial. I know a lot of people back home saw that, and that was like a big deal for me. Currently, I think there's a Swiffer commercial that's on air. There's a commercial for Pampers. There's commercial for Kelsey's, which is a local restaurant, so you won't see that. And I think Remax is still airing right now.
And come December, he's taking it to even higher heights, as he'll be featured in a movie on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
I actually have a Christmas movie coming out on the Oprah Winfrey Network this Christmas, so December 12th. And I think that's kind of the area that I'm focusing on more, trying to get into more film and television. You audition, and that was a funny story actually, because I had auditioned for a different role, which was kind of like the boyfriend of one of the main characters. But they got back to me and they said, you know what, we'd love to see you for this other role, which I auditioned for and booked that one. And he's kind of the, main antagonist in the movie. And this one honestly was kind of a big deal for me because I got to work with a director, Roger Bob, who was, really big in Tyler Perry's early career. Like he worked on a lot of his movies. So for me to kind of get into that 1 degree of separation and to work with him was really exciting for me.
This past summer, he also founded a non-for-profit organization, Acting in Color, that helps local actors in the Toronto area.
Me and a couple fellow actors decided to start an organization where we help actors of color primarily, up their skills, help them with auditions. We do acting workshops. We do, voice training, theater workshops, dance workshops. We do demo reels. We produce demo reels for actors. So there's a lot that we're trying to do to just equip actors of color and, help them gain momentum and success in the industry.
And while this all sounds great, Gibson says the industry does come with its share of challenges.
Dealing with the constant rejection. Yes, I said I've done over 50 commercials. It sounds like I've done all right. But for, every yes, it's probably been 10 no's.
But if you're interested in acting, here's Gibson's advice.
Feel things out. You hear people say all the time, we only have one life to live. There's no dress rehearsal. So get over the fear, get over the haters, and just give it a go.
Just after the break, light showers this morning with skies clearing up later on. The weather report is straight ahead. And introducing Mama DeLo, our Jean Joseph has the details when we return from the break. Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. Cool nights are ahead, but not quite the time for fur and boots. Give it a few more weeks. Let's have a look at weather. Dreamt of being a dentist until she took her first acting class at Fisk University. She hasn't looked back since. Today, she plays Mama DeLo on the award-winning Goombay Kids show. Join our Gene Joseph as he hears more from Leah about being an actor in the Bahamas.
Leah Eneas grew up in a family of educators, lawyers, and medical professionals who all dabble in the arts. Following in her family's footsteps, she has been playing the piano since the age of 6 and also sings, dances, and crochets. She was well on her way to becoming a dentist, but one acting class at Fisk University changed all that. She's not looked back since.
So I said, oh, I never took a real acting class before, so let me take this acting class. And then I took a painting class and I took a dance class because I had been dancing since I was like 9 years old. And when I did that, I ended up getting a position in the play. I got a part in the play, my very first time trying out ever. And then my teacher came to me and was like, do you want to do this as a major? I said, this is a major? I said, acting is a major? Oh, yeah, well, I'm going to do that.
Though Leah is formally trained, she says she battled with whether or not she was a full-fledged actress.
And then even after I graduated with a degree in theater performance, I still didn't consider myself an actor. Even after I had filmed a movie in 2008, I did a movie, a whole American film, and then someone saw me on imdb.com, and then I was like, I'm an actress. Like, for real, for real.
Today, her role as an actress is fully validated, proven by numerous prior castings and her recent Dimension Film Festival Best Actress Award for her portrayal of Mama DeLo on Goombay Kids. The show also won Best TV Pilot and the Cannes World Film Festival Best Web and TV Series Award. Leah says she looks up to entertainers like Greg Lampkin, Claudette Cookie Allens, Hope Curry, Fred Ferguson, Raphael and Freddie Munnings, and Ronnie Butler. She says Sir Sidney Poitier was a major influence on Bahamian film, and she feels his impact even more now working with his niece, Rowena Poitier Sutherland, Goombay Kids executive producer.
And his influence has directly affected me, obviously, because I'm literally working with his family. He's globally acting goals for Black people. And just for people in general, because he was a class act.
Leah has worked with many talented Bahamians over the years and says the Bahamian film industry is on the verge of big things.
I see us going far. We could have did that. It's just that no one was investing. No one thought it was possible. Everything that's foreign is better, But there are more people going off to the States and learning videography and all these things and coming back home. So I could see us on the Oscar level.
To see Leah's performances as Mama DeLo, watch Goombay Kids on Channel 212 and follow her on social media to see more of her entertainment and crocheting. For Our News, Arts and Entertainment, I'm Gene Joseph.
Thanks, Gene, and thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend Edition. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Have a safe and wonderful weekend.